Nicola Sturgeon misled Holyrood in regards to Alex Salmond, sources say, following an in-depth inquiry. Here's the inquiry in full. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon has misled Holyrood, sources say. An inquiry into Alex Salmond has found. Holyrood's harassment committee is said to have reached a conclusion ahead of its publication of a final report, with MSPs voting on an account given by Ms Sturgeon during a live investigation. MSPs on the Scottish Government Handling of Harassment Complaints Committee voted 5-4 that Ms Sturgeon gave an inaccurate account of a meeting with her predecessor Alex Salmond during the live investigation. This vote suggests Ms Sturgeon misled the committee itself and, as a result, misled Parliament and potentially breached the Ministerial Code of Conduct. Now Ms Sturgeon is likely to face calls to resign ahead of May's elections. A Scottish Parliament spokeswoman said the committee is still considering its report, which is expected to be published in the coming days. The committee's finding, which passed by a majority, reads, "The committee notes there is a fundamental contradiction in the evidence in relation to whether, at the meeting on April 2, 2018, the First Minister did or did not agree to intervene. Taking account of the competing versions of the event, the committee believes that she did in fact leave Alex Salmond with the impression that she would, if necessary, intervene." This is corroborated by Duncan Hamilton, who was also at the meeting. Her written evidence is, therefore, an inaccurate account of what happened and she has misled the committee on this matter. This is a potential breach of the Ministerial Code under the terms of Section 1.3 c. A Scottish Parliament spokeswoman said the committee is still considering its report, which is expected to be published on Tuesday. A spokesman for the First Minister said, "The First Minister told the truth to the committee in 8 hours of evidence, and stands by that evidence. It is clear from past public statements that opposition members of this committee had prejudged the First Minister at the outset of the inquiry and before hearing a word of her evidence, so this partisan and selective briefing, before the committee has actually published its final report, is hardly surprising. The question of the First Minister's adherence to the Ministerial Code is being considered independently by James Hamilton and we expect to receive and publish his report soon." Former First Minister for Scotland Alex Salmond faced allegations of sexual harassment in 2018, which he denied strongly. The complaints about Mr. Salmond came following new government policies implemented by Ms Sturgeon, which were to address sexual harassment. Mr. Salmond and his supporters went on to allege Ms Sturgeon had misled Scottish Parliament over the inquiry into the allegations. They accused the First Minister of conspiring against Mr. Salmond. However, Ms Sturgeon denied these claims. Later, the Scottish government admitted the investigation was botched, and the government had to fork out for Mr. Salmond's legal fees. A £512,250 payout was awarded to Mr. Salmond for legal fees in 2019. Mr. Salmond was arrested in January 2019 and charged with multiple counts of sexual assault, including rape. However, he was later cleared of all 13 charges following a trial in March 2020. Once the trial ended, a further 2 inquiries were launched, one into the Scottish Government's handling of complaints against Mr. Salmond and the second into whether Ms Sturgeon breached Ministerial Code. The First Minister is now facing calls for her resignation, with Twitter users and government figures alike urging her to stand down. Scottish Conservative leader Douglas Ross said, "The committee will publish its findings in the coming days and we will wait for that report. But we have already detailed that Nicola Sturgeon lied to the Scottish Parliament and for that, she must resign. All we're waiting for is confirmation."